Today's whiskey is Method and Madness Irish whiskey, finished in a French chestnut cask. It's a strange and elusive bottle perfectly suited to today's deliciously high-proof story where we explore one of San Francisco's best and most elusive cocktails, the Pisco Punch. It's a story of a newborn city, some mercurial characters, and one very mysterious secret ingredient. And make sure you stick around until the end because I'm not simply going to tell the story of this almost mythological libation, I'm going to share a couple ways that you can try it for yourself. San Francisco. This city is full of stories, and today I'd like to share one with you. Are we sitting comfortably? Good. It's time for the story of Pisco Punch. As is often the case with alcohol-related histories, there's considerable controversy around almost every aspect of the Pisco Punch story, from who created it, where that happened, and even what actually went into it. It's almost as if all the historical witnesses were hopped up on some intoxicating potion. Anyway, just remember that I'm telling a story. The facts here are as elusive as a spritz of lemon juice scattered by the wingtips of a green fairy. If I tried to run down every wrinkle of this convoluted tale, we'd never get to the fun part, where I show you some possible ways that you can prepare this delicious cocktail for yourself. Once upon a time in San Francisco, during the Great Gold Rush, a drink came to be extraordinarily popular. This drink was called Pisco. It came from Peru and had been imported to San Francisco at least as far back as 1830. Parenthetically, there is also Chilean Pisco. My understanding is that there are strong feelings over the relative strengths and relationships between these two drinks. I am not interested in starting a small war, so for the purpose of this video, let us just specify that we are talking about Peruvian Pisco. At this time, hundreds of ships sailed to San Francisco every year, coming around Cape Horn and often making stops in South American ports before continuing up the coast. Along this trade route was a town founded as Santa Maria Magdalena, a port in the Pisco Valley of Peru. When the Spanish first conquered South America, they brought wine with them, but it was expensive and in short supply. So in 1553, Marquis Francisco de Caravantes brought grapes from the Canary Islands, and so began a profitable and highly successful wine production industry. So successful, in fact, that the Spanish government began to fear that South American wine production would undercut that same industry back in Spain. Thus, the Spanish government started imposing limitations, even banning Peruvians from exporting wine. Now, that ban was largely ignored, but some historians reckon that it was this pressure which incentivized some South Americans to shift focus towards distillation. And from this was born the first aguardiente, or burning water. Aguardiente is a broad category of spirit made from distilled vegetable matter. And Pisco is a type of aguardiente made from grapes. It's essentially a brandy distilled in copper, aged in non-reactive containers. In fact, one such container, a clay vessel called a pisco, may very well have given its name to the Pisco Valley, and thus to the spirit. In the 1860s and 70s, San Francisco was a rough and tumble town. It was sometimes claimed to have more bars per capita than any other place in America. At the corner of Montgomery and Washington Streets, where the Transamerica Tower now rises above a redwood park, stood the Bank Exchange Saloon, known for its expert bartenders and powerful elixirs. The Bank Exchange existed in several incarnations, some lasting only a few years. But by 1887, it was co-owned by George Brown and a man named Duncan Nicol. According to some, and there's controversy on this point, it was here that Duncan Nicol, or maybe George Brown and George Perkins, or perhaps John Torrance, or a bartender named Professor Jerry Burns, someone anyway, brought together Pisco with other imported ingredients like pineapple and lemons or limes, creating what became a spectacularly celebrated cocktail, the Pisco Punch. And this was no ordinary cocktail. One anonymous source said of the punch that, "It tastes like lemonade, but comes back with the kick of a roped steer." Another declared, "It seems harmless, but in reality it is like the scimitar of Haroun, with an edge so fine that After a slash, a man could walk on unaware that his head had been severed from his body until his knees gave way and he fell to the ground dead. So strong was this warhammer of a cocktail that patrons were supposedly limited to just 2 glasses per evening. Pisco Punch became the most sought-after drink in San Francisco, and some claimed that one could utter the words Pisco Punch in a London hotel and any number of voices would reply, "Southeast corner of Montgomery and Washington Streets, San Francisco, America." Mark Twain is said to have frequented the Bank Exchange and consumed the famed punch while listening to the stories of a man named Tom Sawyer, all of which may have had some influence on his later works. But it was Rudyard Kipling who best summed up the glory of Pisco Punch, writing in 1913, "Go thither softly, treading on the tips of your toes, and ask him for a button punch. 'Twill take 10 minutes to brew, but the result is the highest and noblest product of the age. No man but one knows what is in it. I have a theory it is compounded of the shavings of cherubs' wings, the glory of a tropical dawn, the red clouds of sunset, and fragments of lost epics by dead masters." And it's this description that takes us down the road where things go from controversial to downright infuriating. So successful was this drink that Duncan Nicol, who owned and operated the Bank Exchange, wanted to keep his recipe from falling into the hands of competitors. Stories say those 10 minutes to brew were actually because Nicol would descend to the basement so he could mix the drink in secret. Thus, the recipe remained under lock and key right up until the 1919 passage of the Volstead Act, which brought about prohibition. When the Bank Exchange closed its doors, a reporter asked Nicol for the recipe, to which the tight-lipped Scotsman replied, "Even Mr. Volstead can't take the secret from me." Nicol died a few years later, and the recipe was lost forever. Or so everyone thought. In 1973, San Francisco historian William Bronson, while investigating the letters of the lawyer A. Crawford Green, discovered what purports to be the Pisco Punch recipe, as written by John Lannes, who appears to have been a manager at the Bank Exchange. In a fun personal twist, as I dug through all this, I learned that early in her career, my mother had in fact worked with and sort of knew A. Crawford Green. Lannes' recipe, a slight variation of which I'll be making for you before this story is over, is made of pisco, pineapple, lemon, water, and what Bronson tells us is the secret ingredient, gum arabic syrup. Lannes' recipe contains half a pint or 8 ounces of pineapple-infused gum syrup, 1 pint or 16 ounces of distilled water, 3/4 of a pint or 10 ounces of lemon juice, 1 bottle or 24 ounces of Peruvian pisco brandy, and pineapple chunks. The most intriguing ingredient here is the gum syrup, which is basically sugar syrup into which gum arabic has been added. The gum arabic adds viscosity. The idea being that the gum sheathes the alcohol, allowing it to go down smoothly and then kick you later as it breaks down. But Lannes' ingredients don't really match the description we have for the original recipe. Pisco is strong, but no stronger than gin, or whiskey, or rum, or many other strong spirits available in San Francisco at the time. And Lannes' recipe uses almost as much water as it does Pisco. So we're talking watered-down Pisco. Why then would Pisco Punch have such a fearsome reputation? And then there's Kipling's description, the glory of a tropical dawn, the red clouds of sunset. Surely the drink must have had some kind of colorful hue to merit that description. In 2007, Pisco historian Guillermo Toro-Lira dug into these questions in Wings of Cherubs, the saga of the rediscovery of Pisco Punch, old San Francisco's mystery drink. Now, Toro-Lira's writing style is honestly a tad odd, but in his book, he does make a number of important points, notably that John Lannes only worked for the Bank Exchange for a year. Given the secretive nature of the recipe, he was unlikely to have had it. Toro-Lira also makes a good case that the punch was more likely made with limes and not lemons. And he does give a recipe for Pisco Punch, which he says he's rediscovered. But in reading the book, it's not clear to me what his basis is to claim his recipe's authenticity. And even then, he admits his recipe leaves out the elusive and presumably all-important secret ingredient. But he does raise a fascinating, even startling hypothesis. The secret ingredient, Toro-Lira suggests, might have been a drink called Vin Mariani. At the time, Vin Mariani was a popular tonic, with Queen Victoria, Thomas Edison, and Ulysses S. Grant all said to have been enthusiastic consumers. 2 popes endorsed it, with Leo XIII even awarding its creator a Vatican gold medal. And what exactly was Vin Mariani? Well, that's what makes this idea particularly startling. You see, it was a tonic made by infusing red wine with coca leaves. Yes, coca leaves, i.e. the secret ingredient, according to Toro-Lira, might have been cocaine. This isn't quite as shocking as it sounds to our tender 21st century ears. Cocaine-based drinks and tonics were pretty popular in the late 19th century, the most famous example, of course, being Coca-Cola. And cocaine-infused red wine might account both for the drink's legendary kick and the red tinting suggested by Kipling's description. Oddly enough, drinks infused with cocaine have generally fallen out of fashion, at least at the parties I get invited to. So we might never know the exact fixings of this OG San Francisco potion, but that doesn't mean we can't have some fun taking a stab at it. The easiest way to experience this Pisco Punch, at least if you live in San Francisco, might be to go to a bar where they serve one of its many variations. I decided to give one a whirl at the Comstock Saloon in North Beach. This classic bar has a long and storied history, including the fact that the prize fighter Jack Dempsey used to work the door. The good folks here mixed me up a punch of pisco, lemon, pineapple gum syrup, and secrets. It's a nice drink, much less pineapple-y than I'd imagined, and very, very citrus forward. It does lack Rudyard Kipling's red clouds of sunset tinting. I want to try to make this cocktail for myself and see what I can do to recreate something like the original Pisco Punch and maybe help you do the same. We're going to try 4 variations, and while, for better or worse, my creations will not be the cause of the Drug Enforcement Agency knocking on my door, we will make an effort to add a little more punch and attempt to imbue the drink with some of that ruddy complexion as suggested by Rudyard Kipling. Okay, let's get going. I'm going to start by saying I'm not a professional bartender, so don't expect professional bartender results. I'm a storyteller, but I do have the ingredients here to make Pisco Punch in a few different variations. We're going to start with John Lannes' recipe, or a variation of it. I'm going to reduce that since his was for like a full bowl of punch, and I'm going to use less water and rely on ice for the dilution. We're going to start with some pineapple that I already prepared. I cut it up yesterday. I put some of it in water, and the rest of it was soaking in gum syrup, like this gum syrup right here. So I'm going to start by preparing my garnish, which is simply a piece of the gum-soaked pineapple on a toothpick. We'll have that ready on the side. We are going to then do 2 shots of Pisco, 2/3 of a shot of our pineapple-infused gum syrup, 3/4 of a shot of lemon juice, 1/3 of a shot of the piña. The rest of the dilution will be done through ice. Okay, make sure we've got nice straight edges here. Give it a good shake. Pineapple for our garnish is our Lannes style Pisco Punch. So I'm going to try a sip of this. Let's see what we think. That's pretty good. It's sweet. It's definitely tastes like lemonade. I think in that regard it matches the old description. Of course, we're not getting that color that I'd like to see. It's really very tasty. That is a nice drink. I'm going to set that one down, and then we're going to move on to our second variation after I do a quick cleanup here. All right, so Guillermo Toro-Lira gives us a second version that we're going to do now. Now he does a more classic 4-3-2-1 ratio. He also has the limes in place of the lemons. So let's do this one in the Toro-Lira style. I'm going to start, of course, again by putting together my garnish. Now it's 4 parts of water, and in fact, again, I'm not going to use quite so much water. We're going to use 2 parts water and allow the ice to do the rest of that work. 3 ounces, so it's quite a lot of Pisco in this one. We're going to use a larger glass for this. 2 parts of gum syrup. Juice out of a lime. Okay, and we'll throw that in. So a bit of ice in there. Pop our tins on here, nice and firm. We're going to give that a good shake. We have another prepared glass, and we give this a little strain, and let's see what we've got here. Okay, and there is Toro-Lira's revisited version of the Pisco Punch, never forgetting my little garnish in here, which depth charged its way down to the bottom. That is also very tasty. I really have no complaints between them as to which is more legit. I will leave that to experts to determine, but obviously more lime instead of lemon. And I guess it's a softer drink. The added water, that extra water, just makes it considerably less potent, at least up front. But there is more Pisco in here, so I'm sure if I drank the whole thing, that would definitely give me the proper kick. Let's move on to number 3. This comes from Duncan Nicol from the Cantina Bar in San Francisco. And what he did that I think was really interesting is he looked back at that idea of the Vin Mariani and the red color and the extra kick on it, and he decided to try doing something to kind of help bring out that red color. And he chose to use Lillet Rouge, which has lots of sort of herbal, kind of tonic-y qualities, which I think were probably not a terrible match for Vin Mariani. Now, I've never tasted Vin Mariani, but I want to do his version because his version is really delicious. Now, that version starts with a different garnish. So I'm going to get a orange here, and I'm going to prepare a garnish simply by pulling a nice piece here from it and just have this ready. So this is going to be our garnish. 2 shots of Pisco. Okay, and 1 shot of the pineapple gum syrup. We're going to use this one by Small Hand Foods. It's really nice. You can tell I've opened it previously, and it's really very tasty. So we're going to do a shot of that. And this is great if you decide you don't want to have to make your own pineapple infused gum syrup. Not that it was that hard, as long as you can get the gum syrup. A shot of the lime juice. We're going to do half a shot of the Lillet. And a shot of Angostura bitters. No shot, sorry. A dash of Angostura bitters. Pop on our tins and give it a good shake. And let's pour this one out. And what you're going to see here is really lovely, because look at this. It comes out with a little bit of foam. That's from the gum syrup. And then we're just going to take this little garnish, but look at that color. We're going to take the garnish, the orange, and give it a little bit. We're going to just get some of that essence in there. And then I'm going to lay it on top. Look at that. And I'm going to just try this. That is so delicious. So this is so much more balanced of a cocktail. It's bright, it's got this wonderful, it's obviously got the lime, the orange peel gives it just this little lift, that little bit of foam on the top. It's really lovely. I really like this version of the Pisco Punch. So I'm going to put this down, but then I'm going to try one more variation. And this one is based on the one from Duncan Nicol. This is actually just my own personal variation. I really like that cocktail. I think it's gorgeous. It's very tasty. I really want to get to something that is like what Rudyard Kipling said, which is that red clouds of sunset readiness. Now, he got that with this version in that it is red, but I kind of want to see the clouds a little more than I do with this one. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to add in one crucial ingredient, and that is an egg white. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a separation here. And I'm just going to grab the white. We'll save the yolk for my breakfast. And then I'm going to take this and do a dry shake. So this is basically just taking a bit out of the Pisco Sour recipe, right? I'm going to create a drink where we add this extra frothiness. So I'm going to give this about 10 or 15 seconds of really vigorous shaking. And then, that's great. So what I've got in here now is a good froth. And now I'm going to add in all the other ingredients except for the lillet. So we're going to do 2 shots of Pisco. 1 shot of the pineapple infused gum syrup. Dash of Angostura. Got a shot of lime juice. Ice. And we're going to give this another shake for another 10 or 15 seconds. This is so much frothier again than what we had. I've got another prepared glass here that what we had with the others. This is so lovely. Okay, but you can see what it's lacking, of course, is our red color. And that's what's going to happen next. I'm going to take about a half a shot of the lillet, and I'm going to just pour it here over the back of the spoon. I'll add in a little orange peel, spritz it, but look at that. Now we've got our red clouds of sunset. Let me try a sip of this. Okay, that is a very nice, these are all very nice drinks. There are no bad drinks here. This one though, look at the presentation on that. I really like this. It's that egg white has made it have the real clouds thing going on. The red is just doing a beautiful job of separating and giving you that layer. There's nothing historical here, don't imagine that, but I do really like this drink. So there you go. I'm really happy with that. Okay, we have now a series of Pisco punches that you can try at home. Give it a whirl and let me know in the comments what you think. Take care, everyone. Are we still sitting comfortably? Why? The world is full of stories. Get up, get out, and explore your world.